What if everything you've been told about success is a carefully crafted illusion? What if the rules you're following were never designed for you to win? There's a cold truth most people avoid facing. The world doesn't care about your dreams. It doesn't reward your kindness. And it definitely doesn't guarantee success just because you're intelligent. What the world actually responds to is money. Money is the shield, the weapon, and the key. Without it, you're exposed. With it, you hold power. And if you doubt that for even a second, just watch how quickly people ignore the poor and how obsessively they follow the rich. Most people are raised with a very small, very safe idea of money. Save a little, spend less, play it safe. Maybe one day you'll retire comfortably. Sounds responsible, right? But if Machiavelli were alive today, he'd laugh at that mindset, because he understood something most people refuse to admit. If you don't pursue massive wealth, if you don't fight to build so much of it that it protects you, you will always be under someone else's control. Think about it. When a wealthy man walks into a room, people lean in, they listen, they adjust themselves around him. When a man without money walks in, people barely notice. Money doesn't just sit in your bank account. It changes the air around you. It bends rules. It softens enemies. It attracts allies. And here's the harsh part. When you have money, even your mistakes are forgiven. But when you don't, even your smallest flaw gets magnified. Now, most people don't like hearing this. They want to believe that character matters more, that love conquers everything, that kindness brings rewards. And sure, in small personal circles, maybe it does. But in the larger game of life, money decides who eats and who struggles. That's why so many people end up trapped, working long hours, waiting for opportunities, living in quiet frustration, because they ignored the one rule that actually runs the game. Money is power. In its purest form, it buys time, it buys freedom, it buys safety. Without it, you are tied to other people's decisions. With it, you start shaping your own reality. Machiavelli knew this centuries ago. Leaders without wealth were never truly in control. They were always dependent on those who had it. And today, nothing has changed. You may not be sitting on a throne, but you're still in a battlefield. The only difference is, the weapons aren't swords anymore. They're dollars. And here's where it gets even deeper. Money doesn't just change your situation, it changes how people see you. When people know you have it, they treat you differently. Not because of who you are, but because of what they believe you can do. Respect increases, attention increases, even attraction increases. And the funny part? Most people will never admit this out loud. They'll say things like, "Money doesn't matter to me," but watch their actions. Watch who they follow. Watch what they admire. Watch what they envy. Now, let's flip it. What happens when you don't play this game? You become invisible. Opportunities shrink. Your voice feels smaller. When you ask for something, it feels like begging. And when you try to stand your ground, no one listens. Because without money, your voice is quiet. But with money, even your silence speaks. This is what happens when you ignore this reality. You don't have to be broke to feel it either. Even having just enough money can keep you powerless. A job, a small house, a little savings, it feels safe. But all it takes is one bad month, one unexpected bill, one crisis, and everything collapses. That's why the goal isn't survival. The goal is protection, real protection. The kind that comes from building so much wealth that nothing can shake you. Not a little money, not enough to get by, but enough to build walls around your life that no one can break through. So the question becomes, what's the alternative? You stop thinking about survival, and you start thinking about dominance. you stop asking, "How do I get by?" and start asking, "How do I build wealth that commands respect?" Because the people who rise, the ones who actually gain power, they play a completely different game. They don't play safe. They don't shrink themselves. They understand that money must be pursued aggressively, built strategically, and protected relentlessly. And no, this isn't about greed. It's about control. Because once you have enough money, you choose when to work. You choose who you work with. You choose where you live. You choose how you live. You stop asking for permission. You buy back your life. And the people who don't understand this, they spend their entire lives selling their time, always answering to someone else, always waiting, always hoping. Look at business. Who controls the deal? It's never the desperate person. It's the one who doesn't need it. And why don't they need it? Because they already have money. Look at relationships. Who sets the pace? The one with options. And money multiplies options. Look at politics. Leaders don't rise just because of speeches. They rise because of financial backing. So, when you truly understand this, everything changes. You stop wasting time. You stop chasing things that drain your energy and your wallet. You start thinking like someone in control. Every dollar becomes a tool. Every decision becomes strategic. Because here's the truth. The poor spend their money. The rich multiply it. That's the difference. But there's one more layer to this. Machiavelli wouldn't just tell you to make money. He'd tell you to build a fortress. Something so strong that no storm can touch you. And yes, people will judge you for it. They'll call you obsessed. They'll call you ruthless, maybe even cold. But when life hits them, when things fall apart, they'll look at you differently because you'll be standing firm while they're struggling to stay afloat. And then, something interesting happens. The same people who ignored you start paying attention. They want your time, your approval, your presence. The power dynamic flips. When you have nothing, you need everyone. When you have everything, everyone needs you. And that changes everything. Now, the real players take it even further. They don't just collect money, they weaponize it. They understand that money sitting idle is wasted power. So, instead of letting it rest, they use it to shape outcomes, influence decisions, and control environments. Because at the highest level, money isn't just about comfort. It's about leverage. Think about it. Why do governments protect their reserves? Why do corporations fight for funding? Why do powerful families obsess over wealth generation across generations? Because money doesn't just support life. It controls it. And once you see it that way, your entire mindset shifts. You stop asking, "How much do I need?" And you start asking, "How much control can I build?" That's the difference between living and ruling your environment. So how do you actually weaponize money? Influence. Money buys attention. With enough of it, your voice carries weight before you even speak. You can fund ideas, back movements, support projects, or amplify your message across platforms. Suddenly, you're not just another opinion in the crowd. You become the signal everyone hears. Throughout history, money has always turned whispers into commands. Second, people don't stay loyal to inspiration alone. They stay loyal to those who provide. A hungry person will listen to motivation, but they will follow the one who feeds them. When you have money, you can reward people properly. You can create opportunities others can't. You can build teams that stay not because they have to, but because they want to. That's how empires are built. Not just on vision, but on well-paid loyalty, silence. This is the part people don't like to talk about, but it's real. Money has the power to end conflict without confrontation. An enemy making noise can suddenly disappear from the conversation. if the right resources are applied at the right time. Sometimes it's legal, a settlement, a negotiation, a deal. Sometimes it's subtle, a favor, a connection, a quiet agreement, but the principle remains the same. Money can achieve outcomes that force alone cannot. Now, think about the psychological effect this creates. When people know you have resources, they behave differently around you. They hesitate before challenging you. They think twice before crossing you, because they understand, whether consciously or not, that you have the means to respond. That's power. Not loud, aggressive power, but controlled, quiet dominance. And here's where it gets even more strategic. The most dangerous move is not showing your wealth at all. Hidden wealth is a completely different level of power, because when people underestimate you, they expose themselves. They get comfortable. They make mistakes. And then, when the moment is right, you reveal your position. And it changes everything instantly. It's like playing a game where your opponent doesn't even know all your pieces. That element of surprise, it breaks confidence. It shifts control. It ends resistance. Let's make this real. Imagine two people in a negotiation. One is loud, flashy, showing off everything he has. The other is quiet, calm, almost invisible. The loud one assumes he's in control. But then, the quiet one casually reveals his position, ownership, leverage, connections. And just like that, the entire room shifts. Because real power doesn't need to announce itself. It reveals itself at the right time. History is full of this. Powerful families didn't dominate through force alone. They financed rulers, they funded systems, they made others dependent on them. Because the one who controls the money controls the game. And that principle hasn't changed. Even today, the people who control financial flows don't need to fight. The system bends around them. Now, think about the opposite. What happens if you never see money this way? You stay reactive, always solving problems, always responding to pressure, always playing defense. But when you start seeing money as a tool, you go on offense. You create opportunities instead of waiting for them. You remove obstacles instead of avoiding them. You build leverage instead of begging for chances. And here's the key shift. Every dollar you have should be working, not sitting, not sleeping. Working. Think of your money as soldiers. If your soldiers are doing nothing, you're losing. But if they're deployed correctly, they go out, bring back more, and expand your position. That's how wealth grows. The poor save money. The rich send it out to multiply. And the difference in results is massive. Picture this. A room full of competitors, arguing, negotiating, fighting over limited opportunities. And then someone walks in and says, "I'll buy the entire deal." The argument ends instantly, because money doesn't just participate in the game, it ends the game. That's the level you're aiming for. But there's another layer most people ignore. Money as a shield. Because as you grow, you attract attention, and not all of it is good. Jealousy, competition, resistance, it's all part of the process. But money gives you protection, access to expertise, access to support, access to defense. Without it, even small problems can crush you. With it, even big problems become manageable. That's why building wealth isn't just about growth. It's about security. Now let's talk about attraction. People move towards stability, towards safety, towards strength. And money represents all three. That's why opportunities, partnerships, and connections naturally gravitate toward those who have it. Not always because of admiration, but because of trust in what that wealth represents. It's not always fair, but it is real. And if you ignore it, you fall behind. Now here's where the top-level thinkers operate differently. They don't just think about today, they think about the future. Long-term control, long-term positioning. They invest in things that outlast them: land, systems, networks, knowledge. Because real wealth isn't just about living well now. It's about building something that continues, that expands, that survives. That's how dynasties are created. The average person thinks in days. The wealthy think in decades. And the elite? They think in generations. That's the real game. And the end goal? Freedom. Not the illusion of freedom. Not weekends off or temporary breaks. Real freedom. The ability to walk away from anything. The ability to say no without fear. The ability to live without pressure. That's what money actually buys. And once you experience that level, everything changes. You don't chase validation anymore. You don't tolerate situations you don't want. You don't depend on anyone's approval, because you don't need it. And that's the ultimate power. Now bring this back to you, right now. You may not be operating at that level yet, but the principle still applies. Stop treating money like it's optional. Stop acting like it's secondary. It's not. It's central. It's the foundation of control in the modern world. And if you ignore it, you give that control to someone else. Because in the end, the world doesn't reward need. It rewards power. And money is how power moves. Now let's bring everything together. Because at this point, the truth should be clear. Money is not optional. It's not something you figure out later. It's not a side goal. It's the main battlefield. Every single day, people are competing for it, building it, expanding it. And if you're not doing the same, you're falling behind. This isn't about greed. It's about survival. Because without enough money, you don't just struggle, you become dependent. Dependent on jobs you don't control. Dependent on people who don't value you. Dependent on systems that can replace you at any time. And that's the real cost of ignoring this game. Most people never admit this. Instead, they hide behind comfortable phrases. Money isn't everything. Money can't buy happiness. Life is about more than money. But look closely at who says that the most. It's usually the people who don't have it. The ones forced to adjust, forced to settle, forced to accept less than they want. Because here's the reality. The world bends toward money. Laws shift around it. Opportunities follow it. Doors open for it. Even fairness starts to look different when money is involved. The system isn't built on equality. It's built on leverage. And if you don't have leverage, you live under someone else's rules. That's the harsh truth. But it's also a powerful one. Because once you accept it, you stop wasting time. You stop believing that hard work alone will save you. You stop thinking that being good is enough. Those things matter, but without money, they don't carry weight. They're quiet. And the world doesn't respond to quiet. It responds to force. And money is that force. So what's the move? Simple. You stop chasing survival. And you start building something bigger. You start treating your time like your most valuable asset. Because every hour you sell cheaply is a piece of your future you're giving away. You have to think differently. Not just earning, but building. Not just working, but creating systems. Not just saving, but multiplying. Because if your money stops when you stop, you're still trapped. That's the line. The shift happens when your money starts working harder than you do. When it continues moving, even when you're not, that's when control begins. So you need to start asking better questions. Not, how do I make money this month? But, how do I build something that keeps paying me? Not, what job should I take? But, what can I create that scales? Because scale is where freedom lives. One effort multiplied. That's how wealth grows. Now let's talk about mindset. Because this isn't just strategy, it's identity. You have to adopt a level of certainty. Not, I'll try. Not, maybe one day. But, I will build wealth, no matter what. That kind of thinking changes your actions. You stop hesitating. You stop overthinking. You start moving with purpose. Because while you're waiting, someone else is building. While you're doubting, someone else is earning. While you're distracted, someone else is taking the opportunities you ignored. And that's the reality most people don't want to face. Time doesn't pause. The game doesn't slow down. And the longer you delay, the harder it becomes to catch up. So you have to move now. And understand this clearly. Money is not something you worship. It's something you use. You use it to create freedom. You use it to protect your family. You use it to open doors that would otherwise stay closed. You use it to remove limits. Because in the end, money itself doesn't matter. What matters is what it allows you to do. The control it gives you, the pressure it removes, the life it unlocks. But if you ignore it, there's a consequence. And it's not small. It's a life of restriction, a life where you can't say no, a life where you have to accept whatever comes your way, a life where you're always adjusting, never deciding. You might call that playing it safe, but in reality, it's surrender. And no one remembers the ones who surrendered. They remember the ones who built, the ones who took control, the ones who changed their position. Yes, the path is difficult. It requires sacrifice, discipline, risk. You'll have to give up comfort now to gain power later. You'll have to move when others hesitate. You'll have to keep going when it's uncertain. But the reward is everything. Because once you reach that level, life feels different. You wake up without pressure. You make decisions without fear. You choose your direction every single day. You're not reacting anymore. You're deciding. And that's the shift. Now, picture this. You wake up in a place you fully own. No debt. No pressure. Your income doesn't depend on your time anymore. It flows from systems, investments, assets you built. When someone calls, you choose whether to answer. When an opportunity appears, you set the terms. Your family looks at the future with confidence because you built the foundation. That life, it's not reserved for a lucky few. It's built by the relentless few, the ones who decide early that they will not settle. So burn this into your mind. Money is not about greed. It's about power. The ones who refuse to stay small. The ones who understand that money must be built intentionally, aggressively, consistently. Power to say no. Power to protect. Power to live on your own terms. And without it, you are always at risk, always dependent, always replaceable. So don't let that be your story. Don't be the one who looks back and realizes you played it safe, that you settled, that you stayed comfortable while others expanded. Be the one who built. Be the one who moved. Be the one who became untouchable, not by luck, but by design. Because in the end, respect isn't given. Freedom isn't handed out. Power isn't gifted. It's built. And it's bought with the one currency this world truly responds to. Money. So acquire it. Protect it. Multiply it. At all costs.